Yo, what is going on, you guys? So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 5 best Patrick Mahomes investments to make right now before the playoffs start. As you guys know, if you guys have been watching the channel, I've been breaking down why I believe Patrick Mahomes is a good, safe bet, but also a high upside investment, given he is going for a three-peat during these playoffs. If he does somehow pull off the three-peat, I do see a lot of upside, but regardless, I think there is a lot of safety that's coming into Patrick Mahomes' market. So without further ado, let's hop right into the video. All right, guys, so the first card that we have on our list is Patrick Mahomes' 2017 Illuminations Prizm. Now, this is a card I believe is at a perfect point where it's not too high of a pop count. It's a Prizm rookie card. You know, silver got a very good eye appeal. And the price point is just at a price point that I see a lot of growth at. To be frank. So you can see these are in a PSA 10 at around $1,000. You know, they've been trending up some since the last Super Bowl, but nothing insane, probably like a 15 to 20% jump. What I really like about this card is the fairly low pop compared to a lot of his other rookie cards, especially for Prizm. So his PSA 10 is a pop 719, his PSA 9 is a pop 318, and they're sitting at fairly, you know, relatively affordable price points, given he's, of course, the best quarterback of our generation and he's going for a three-peat. I think this card has a lot of room for growth. You know, just solely based on eye appeal, how many options he has for investors. You know, investors do not have a bunch of options for Patrick Mahomes' rookie cards with Chiefs uniforms. 2017 was a year where there wasn't too many products out there. Of course, you have the basics like Optic, you have Prizm, but overall, I think it's at a very solid price point. And given the stature of the card, I see a lot of upside. And given kind of where we're going towards with, you know, I wouldn't say case hits. I wouldn't call this a case hit, but I would say it's in that direction. So I definitely like that card overall as an investment. Now, next up, we're going to go with just in general his lower end rookie autos with Chiefs uniforms. So one example of this would be his 2017 Absolute Rookie Reflux. So he does not have many Chiefs uniforms rookie autos, especially affordable ones. And I think this will only continue to clear up. And I do not think there will be many affordable Chiefs uniform rookie autographs of Patrick Mahomes in this price point anymore. There's quite a lot of them you can get for around that $2,000 range. I think if Patrick Mahomes goes on and solidifies himself as the GOAT of our generation and continues to work towards, of course, Brady's still a long way to go in my opinion. But regardless, I think as Patrick Mahomes continues to see success in his career, his rookie autos, especially his RPAs, ones with patches, I do not think they will be affordable anymore. There's a lot of them you can get. Of course, if you can get an on-card auto, if you can afford his more higher-end on-card autos, I would say these cards are, you know, very solid bets in my personal opinion. You know, for example, Origins, solid product, on-card auto, rookie auto, very low pop. You just don't see these float around much. I think if you can get your hands on these, simply put, I think there will be a lot more buyers than sellers in the long term. I just think, you know, with a pop count of under 100 for most of these cards, I think there are much more than 100 people looking to buy these. And on top of that, I think a lot of people who are buying these cards are stashing them for the long term. You just do not see them pop up. So when they pop up, I think they are very solid bets. The higher end of these would be like the National Treasures, the Flawlesses. Those are already pretty expensive. I still see great growth in those, but I do see a lot more growth percentage-wise in going for that lower-end auto. So, you know, you have a lot more people who are wanting to buy those just because they're more affordable price point. So I just think the supply-demand will really work out in the long term for a lot of these cards, and they're already seeing, you know, some solid growth. One, they're incredibly hard to grade. You don't see them pop up. The pop counts are extremely low. For some of these cards, you know, you can only find a couple of them that were ever graded. You know, and let alone from 2017, a lot of them are banged up. So I think they're very good investments for the long term. Now, next up on our list is none other than Patrick Mahomes' 2017 Optic Holo. This is a card that's also fairly low pop. What I really like about this card is the liquidity aspect. I think a lot of investors like the look of Optic Holos, and Optic Holos are a staple for, a lot of players' markets. And I think for Mahomes, he's definitely a player's market where I think his Optic Holo is a great staple. And these have already seen some great growth. Since the Super Bowl, they're around, a little bit under $2,000, and they're currently close to $3,000. So they have gone up 50% since the Super Bowl. I do see some good growth still, especially in the lower grades. So if you go for PSA 9, for example, these have not appreciated as much. These have stuck around, that $900 to $1,000 range. Some have been trending up a little bit, but I think, the lower grades have some catching up to do. Especially if you can get a Gem Mint 9.5, for around that $1,300 price point. You see that the PSA 10s jumped all the way to $3,000, but the 9.5s haven't really, caught up as much. This card was, still a $1,200 card around Super Bowl, and it's still, roughly around that price point. So I do see a lot of upside in Patrick Mahomes' Optic Holos in PSA 9s or BGS 9.5s. So without further ado, we're going to hop right into the next pick, and that is going to be Patrick Mahomes' numbered prisms. I think these cards, just based off the fact that there were not many parallels, and a lot of these are tough grades, I think these cards in the long term are going to greatly benefit, if Patrick Mahomes continues to go on and do what he's doing. Just because I think these are some of the most safe investments, I would say, for Patrick Mahomes, just because a numbered prism is the most staple investment you can really get for a player right now. Just in terms of what Prizm's been able to do over these last couple years to solidify their name in the market. And on top of that, with the numbered prisms, nowadays when you see a numbered prism, you see, 30 to 40 different numbered prisms for every set that comes out. Back then, there were only a handful of them. So Patrick Mahomes does not have many numbered prisms, and a lot of them were SSP, which is super short print. So those are not even numbered. So if you can get a card like this, like an orange prism, I believe even the red prisms and the blue prisms from this year were SSP. So you just do not see many numbered prisms for Patrick Mahomes. I think simply put, in the long term, these cards are going to take off if Patrick Mahomes continues to play the way he's playing, because you will not be able to find many numbered prisms at all, and there will always be people lining up to buy Patrick Mahomes' numbered prisms. So I just think that's a pretty safe bet of a card that I think would really see great growth. Now, next up, we're going to go with his Prism signatures. These cards are extremely hard to find. As you can see right here, if you search them up on Alt, you just do not see them. Of course, you've got the golds and you've got the insane parallels, but even the base, quote unquote, base, any, Patrick Mahomes signature from Prizm, I would say is a sure bet for great growth. Just because of the, ultra low population, I would not go with on card. I would try to find, true numbered prisms that were out of Prizm. So one of them would be like his pink prism. These are a little bit higher of a price point, but these are probably the most rare Patrick Mahomes, quote unquote, I would say, one of the most rare cards of his that are very popular in the market, and are kind of attainable for some people. I think getting into these cards in high grades and holding them for the long term is going to see massive growth. We saw, these cards have absolutely taken off just because you do not see these cards in high grades anymore, to be frank. You just don't see these floating around. It's very hard to even find them on the marketplace, as you can see right here. So, you've got the higher end cards, even like his gold prism. I think this card is a card that is definitely going to be a six-figure card in the long term if he keeps this up. It already was a six-figure card in 2022. I think, we saw the market react the way, I think it should have. And I think we will eventually go back to that. There's 10 of them. This is, one of his higher-end rookie cards, one of his best rookie cards, one of his best eye appeals, one of the most iconic rookie cards. So I just think a lot of these are going to end up being his quote-unquote high-end, higher-end chase rookie cards, that you could call grails for a lot of people. I think that's where they're headed for the long term. You can still get the greens and the pinks around that $6,000 to $7,000 price range. For the golds and the numbered cards, you're going to end up paying a little bit higher. But there are some of the numbered ones you can kind of get around that $7,000 to $10,000 range, and I think those are sure bets. A lot of these are sure bets because a lot of these you just do not see pop up, and the pop counts are extremely low. Even if you go for a card like a Disco, which this is not his most desirable Prizm auto, but you can see right here, they're under 20 total graded. And there's only 5 PSA 10s. There's only 6 9.5s. So, if you can hang on to one of these, I think you're going to find buyers who are going to be willing to pay more and more over time as he continues to solidify his name. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I want to thank you guys so much for all the support recently, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos we've been putting out because we've been putting a lot of work into research. But other than that, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'm out. Peace.